All right. Thank you, Celsa. Thank you, Christine. Thank you, all our translators today. Thank you for joining us. Um, this is our first time doing a virtual middle school crawl slash fair. So this is certainly very different. Um, and we are very, very excited to showcase all of our wonderful, wonderful middle schools. We certainly know that there is a lot of questions regarding admissions and enrollment. Um, we expect a lot of information to be coming very, very soon. But all else aside, we really want you to really learn about how special each and every one of our middle school is. And we have our principals here, we have teachers here to really highlight what makes their school unique. Um, I can't see everyone in the same screen, but I'm going to expect that all the schools are here already. I'm sure you want to hear from them, not so much for me. So I'm going to hand it back over to Christine. Go ahead, Christine.
Okay, hi. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Christine Mastillo. I'm the Deputy Superintendent in District 1. We're excited to have our schools here tonight. We know there's not a lot of information about the middle school process right now, and you're anxiously awaiting that. But the most important information that you need to have is learning about all your school choices, which, as Carrie mentioned, are all wonderful choices. So as we move forward tonight, we're going to give each principal an opportunity to present for about 5 minutes, hear about their schools. We're going to be doing questions through the chat at the end of all the presentations. You can either put your question in the chat, or if you'd be more comfortable speaking your question, you can just put a Q in the chat. And later on in the meeting, we'll unmute you, or you can unmute yourself and you'll be able to ask your question if you'd prefer to ask that way. And with that, we're going to try to start with Principal Carrie Ricks. Principal Ricks, we did test it out and we think you'll be able to share your screen automatically if you need to.
Awesome. Thanks, Christine. Good evening, families. I'm Carrie Ricks. I'm the principal at the School for Global Leaders. And I am super excited to kick off the event with school presentations. We at the School for Global Leaders are committed to keeping you virtually connected with our admissions teams throughout this entire process. And like we had said before, we're not sure what this process is, but we are there for you. Please sign up for a school tour. I've already held several tours this year, but please sign up for a school tour on our website. During the school tour, you'll have an opportunity to hear from our students, our parents, and our staff. A little bit about Global Leaders at SGL. We create in a learning environment where the students evolve into independent critical thinkers who find joy in learning. That joy is just so important to us. We stand by our name to empower students to become global leaders who advocate for change in the world. I'm going to show you a video this evening. Some of the information that you will see in the video, you'll see and you'll hear about what this exciting news that Global Leaders over the next course of the year is going to become an international baccalaureate world school. Right now, we're in the cadency phase. Pre-pandemic and post-pandemic, we did offer and we will continue to offer 12 different elective choices for your child if you choose Global Leaders. Some of the popular choices that we have offered in the past are culinary. We do have a full kitchen on site. It's amazing. So culinary has always been a popular choice. Theater's another popular choice. Coding in our state-of-the-art science lab. We've now gained a science lab. So now we have 2 state-of-the-art science labs at Global Leaders. We have an amazing arts program. We have a full partnership with Lincoln Center Education. We also have a partnership with Broadway Juniors where our kids have an opportunity to put on a Broadway play on the Broadway stage. I'm starting a partnership for next year, beginning next year, full partnership with Two Bridges program, where we are going to begin to offer music to our children. We have a robust sports program if your child's interested in sports for both boys and girls. We also offer a Mandarin dual language program. And right before the pandemic struck, We actually started a partnership with a school that's located in Beijing, and we're going to start a travel program. So our kids that are in the dual language program can maybe spend some time in Beijing, learning in Beijing. For our families that have already attended a school tour, you're going to see a video that you have seen during our school tour. However, I know for me, and I'm sure for you, the second time seeing a video, other questions pop up. So if you have questions, please put it in the chat. I will answer the questions as they post in the chat. Also, please, like I said, visit our website. I'm going to put our website in the chat, and I'm going to put my email in the chat. So please reach out to me via email, sign up for a school tour. I'm going to attempt to share my screen right now, and hopefully that will work.
Hello, prospective families. I am Carrie Ricks, the principal of the School for Global Leaders, and it is with great enthusiasm that I welcome you to a virtual peek into SGL. Our school tours and informational sessions may look a little different this year, so be sure to visit us at sgl378.org and follow us at sgl378 on Twitter. I am super excited to share with you that Global Leaders has been approved to become an international baccalaureate candidacy school. What that means is that our administration and our teachers have been trained to create and implement a rigorous, internationally recognized curriculum that will provide your child with an edge when applying to high school, college, and beyond. You ask yourself, why is that? That is because our curriculum is going to not only be recognized across the United States, but internationally. And IB education helps students understand through inquiry, action, and reflection. Students learn by doing, connecting the classroom to the world and beyond. And IB education is going to create learning communities in which students can increase their understanding of language and culture and can help them become more globally engaged. Through IB programs, students explore how to face both local and global challenges. We look forward to hearing from you soon.
My name is Ms. Larukia, and I'm one of the ELA teachers at School for Global Leaders. I'm very excited to be working with the IB Middle Years program this year. This program is going to allow our school and our students to be aligned with schools and students around the globe. This widens their context for learning and allows them to have more authentic projects at the end of our unit. There's also a lot of opportunity for student voice and choice, more so than ever before. At the end of each unit, each student comes away with a topic and a project that is personalized and important and unique to them.
The IB Middle Years program is going to transform student learning at SGL. It is going to shift our thinking from just skills-focused learning to actual real-world oriented thinking and problem solving. So students are going to have each of their units connected to a real-world global context and be able to see why the skills that they're learning are relevant and important for everyday life and for the world around them. I really love that it's going to turn them into advocates and real-world thinkers and really understand how their decisions and their thinking can make an impact on the world and making it into a better place.
Part of the IB program is learning how to become part of the global society. And one of the ways that the IB program does that is infusing a lot of interdisciplinary work. So what that means is students aren't just learning in a vacuum. They're not just learning about skills and strategies for a specific class. They're learning about how those skills and strategies can touch on different subjects as well as things outside of the classroom. So it's less focused on content and more focused on context. So they're learning.
Alrighty, thank you. Thank you. And like I said, I hope that was a sneak peek into the environment that I truly love so much. And I will put all of my information in the chat and I will answer any questions that the parents or the families post in the chat. Thank you everyone for your time this evening. Thanks, Christine.
Thank you, Carrie. Carrie, we know your video was super long.
I'm
Thank
sorry.
you so much.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Everyone else, we know that you're going to share a abbreviated presentation to all the families. So I want to say thank you so much.
Yes, and we do want to make time for questions and answers at the end. But fortunately, we started a little bit early with our welcoming and things like that. So we're okay for now. We're going to move on to Principal Rodriguez.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Melissa Rodriguez, and I am the proud principal of PSMS 140. We got together as a team at our school. I have a fabulous, fabulous staff. We were put to the challenge of a 5-minute video, which how do we encompass everything of 140 in 5 minutes? And we think we did a fabulous job. I am here with my award-winning guidance counselor, Deborah Stern, who will be sharing her screen and her video. And I do want to start with the video because we think that it pretty much tells the story and the life of M140. So Deborah, if you're ready, let's go.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. Be glad there's one place in the world where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna go where people know people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
Hi, I'm Teddy. I came to PS 140 in the 4th grade, and now I'm in 6th grade. I decided to stay because the classrooms are wonderful, the teachers are nice, everybody knows each other, and the kids are really fun to be around with. And this school has a bunch of activities like gym, after school, art, music, dance, you name it. We have an auditorium, a lunchroom which is huge and with nice warm lunches. I'm glad I stayed at the school.
Where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. Where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
Hi, my name is Fatima. What I really think about this school is that it's very generous, and the classrooms make you feel like you're at home. And the teachers, they listen to you if you have anything that you want to speak with them. And like when you come to school, it's organized, and the school is like very nice.
Where everybody knows your name.
We see you turn back time. But I set fire to the rain. Watch the boys touch your face.
Be glad there's one place in the world where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna go where people know people are all the same.
So a couple of things I do want to highlight. You know, we're very big on student voice and activism. So that's one of the reasons why we also included some testimonials from our students. And you will actually hear former students who are excelling in high school and how M140 supported that. during our actual virtual tours. This is like an abbreviated version. But I do want to highlight that we are a solo school. We do not share the building with anyone. We do want to highlight the fact that we have 3 full-time arts teachers. We have a music teacher, we have a dance teacher with a dance room, and a visual arts teacher. All 3 teachers are phenomenal. As the song said, you know, if you want a place where everyone knows your name, that's 140, because we make it a big point to know our students well, to support them in every way possible. I come from the community, so I am fully invested in D1. I grew up in the D1. I went to PS 34. I went to what once used to be PS Junior High School 56. So, you know, there are still struggles that I still can relate to when I was a child that we're still struggling with now in times. And it just brings a very big intentionality to my work as a principal and what I bring to the school. But our teachers are phenomenal with their CRSE work, with their SEL work, and we're really all about the whole child. So yes, we have high academics, but we also have electives. We also have the arts. We also have partnerships with outside organizations. So to respect everyone's time, I would just love to invite everyone to a virtual tour, school tour, an official one, which will be somewhat more elaborate than this. And I hope you also did notice our classrooms. One classroom, I call it the IKEA classroom. We're really big on flexible setting and our kids feeling really comfortable about their learning environment. So we hope that you do email Deborah Stern, as she will give you the link to our virtual tours, which will be in January. I would love to answer any questions that anyone has. And I thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Principal Rodriguez. Thank you, Ms. Stern and 140. We're going to move on to PS MS 188. PS MS 188 has a whole crew here. We have Dr. Lahana. I know we have AP Almonte. I'm sure we have Principal Ramos, although potentially on call-in. Who is presenting?
Hi, good evening, everyone. Hi, Christine. We're actually, the entire team is here tonight. I'm going to introduce myself quickly. My name is Rose Almonte. I am the assistant principal for PSMS 188. We are a pre-K to 8 school, and we will definitely be eager to answer many of your questions tonight. I'm going to actually transfer over to Dr. Lula Hanna, who has a nice quick presentation for our families, and any questions, then we will definitely answer.
Hi, everybody. All right, I made a quick video, and I think it speaks to what we offer at the Island School. Let me just make sure that I check all the boxes. Okay.
Hi, I'm Darshani, and I'm a 7th grader at the Island School. I think what makes our school different from others is that we're not kidding around when we say hands-on work. We really do get our hands full of paint and sawdust. We record music and make videos. We protest outside to fight for what important changes. Our math classes are challenging and we do projects instead of worksheets. In our ELA class, we create graphic novels and podcasts to express our ideas.
Now it is time to continue our celebration of our graphic novel.
It actually taught me to start listening to my mom now.
So Kavita, if it taught you a lesson, what is that called in those 5 elements?
Theme.
Yeah, it had a really strong theme.
And in science, we learn about the Earth and atmosphere. One of the most important things in our school is the teachers. They really care about us. It's like a family, and I hope you can become part of it.
Yeah, every morning.
Yeah, like when you have sand in the morning.
Yeah.
And then they were like,
If you guys are interested in a virtual tour, please contact our parent coordinator, Mita Rosales, who's also here on the line. I will be sending her number through the chat and her email so that you can organize a virtual tour of 188. And we're really excited for you guys to come and join us. Thank you, team, for being here tonight. If you guys can stay along just to answer a few questions, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, 188. If anyone's not muted, can you make sure to mute yourself? I wasn't sure if that was a carryover from the video or if that was someone unmuted. So please make sure to mute yourself. Okay, our next presenter is Eastside. I'm not sure if Principal Fetterman is here or if someone else is here on his behalf. I don't see his name is in the chat. Is someone here from Eastside? Okay, we're a little bit ahead of schedule. We're about 5 minutes ahead of schedule. So we'll see if someone comes on. Principal Pinato Castro, are you ready to roll? Can we move you up?
Always ready to roll. I
Nice.
want to take this opportunity to say welcome. Bienvenidos a todas las familias que están con nosotros esta noche. We have with us our PTA co-president, Ms. Alex Lozado. Alex, I want to say hi. So I'm going to just play a quick video as well, and then hopefully take 1 minute to go through a presentation since we're behind schedule, and I suspect maybe Eastside may not come. Might as well take advantage of it. So I'm just going to.
We're here, by the way. Eastside's here.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Hi.
Do you want to go first?
No, you can go. You can go.
Okay. So I'm just going to share my screen and play this video and then go through a quick presentation.
the last chapter connects to the rest of the novel by Rowlett knocking on Junior's door. And it's like the old times when they were best friends.
Junior and Ron climbing the tree. But one quote that stood out to me was when Junior said, I had to climb the tree. Rowdy knew.
To you and try to put your ideas before mine. I see problems in my school and on the street. The main problem I want to focus on is bullying.
Possible if they try to attack us because they think we're weak. So they could
But we could like have secretly like soldiers and stuff.
But we will
and when they
have
come, they come.
Cyrus and his thing.
This is for Representative Ellie. Do you feel like you want to drop down out of office?
No, I do not feel like I want to drop down out of office. And I feel this way because I know that our city-state is in danger if we make the bad decisions that
Times like if someone would die, they would bring this as a statue of saying their good lucks to them.
Okay, let's get everybody up in the air. Bring the yoke toward. All right, here we go, 300. Come on, Sanchez.
Trying to make Kevin
Practice run. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, even more power. Oh, you make it across. I think.
I will need my hat.
Try again.
All
3,
of my own
3,
power.
3.
That is so going down.
2, 1. Two, 1.
Oh!
Nice. You guys see this?
I grew up watching my mama struggle to raise me, my brothers, and my sisters.
My life goes together like pieces to a puzzle, yet I've lost some and some are gone. I feel like I'll find the lost ones, yet till then, the time is long. My life is...
I try to step one foot in, but it's not working. I feel my goosebumps rising and my stomach turning.
So I'll be very fast because I know you have a few questions probably about the current context, and I still have 1 minute left. So as you may already have noticed, we have our own Google domain, and we have an integration to PupilPath, which many high schools use for to help track student attendance, but also progress over time. And we also have integration with our Zoom, so we have our own domain and are able to manage that. We are restorative justice school. We believe that 50% of our curriculum walks into the door with our students. So as we strive to be culturally responsive, we also recognize that as educators, we have a lot of work to do introspectively to think about the ways we see ourselves in relation to our students and how we are learning with and from each other. We have circles built into our program. We have a NEST program for students with autism. So we're very inclusive as a school. We, as you may have noticed, we have the Center for Aerospace Applied Mathematics in our building, and we take advantage of that. I know now the partnership is a little different because of our current context. We do have a very strong partnership with NYU. In case you're wondering about our program, we, since the beginning, have been able to support when we were back in blended, because as you may know, middle schools and high schools are currently closed, but we have our 5-day cohort because we prioritized it as a school back in July. And so we have different models available for our families. Our schedule remains the same because basically our model of instruction right now is synchronous, which means one of the things that parents wanted to see was consistency throughout the day. So all of our teachers are always available synchronously every period. Because you're wondering what our space looks like, we are in one space. We are in a co-located building with an elementary and a high school, but that's never been an issue. I've been in that building for 14 years now, but we're very intentional about also the space to make sure that we are supporting, transition between and from classes. This is us distributing computers. We were able to make sure that every single relative and family in our school, had access to computers. We were able to apply for a grant to make sure students also, our families also had some cash right before the holidays. And we're working on some hubs, internet hubs for our families, because some of the internet connectivity issues have been emerging. But our teachers are super creative, like many of our colleagues. Again, I'm not here. If you want to see what we're about, I'm going to put my information in the chat. Reach out to me, and we have some tours that we've already had, but we're going to have more in January. But if in the event you want to just look at classrooms in action, I'm all about that, and not, just telling you how it is, but giving you an opportunity to walk through our classrooms as well. So just these are some pictures from our kiddos in action. And, through our partnership with NYU, we usually have, for the past, I would say 9 years, have publishing parties at NYU where students actually publish their pieces and present that to their families in the community. We do have 3 full-time, again, extracurricular teachers, project arts, music, and also foreign arts teacher, full-time ENL teacher, because I myself, I'm an immigrant, I'm from the Dominican Republic. I'm not one to believe in rankings or tracking. I think that does a disservice. That's an issue of inequity. So if you want to come to UNMS and this is the right place for you, we embrace you fully. And just, again, a couple of pictures here that represents some of the wonderful talent that's already in our Lower East Side community across New York City, since we're a district of choice. I don't have much time left, but I will then allow Alex to briefly give us a sense of how we connect with families. Since you're all family, you're wondering probably how you're positioned in relation to the learning process at a school. Alex, you want to speak briefly to this?
Sure. Yeah, as a parent, we are communicated with almost pretty much on a daily basis. We're really active on Twitter also, and we have PTA meetings, SLT meetings that were very well attended, as well as a number of programming that happens in collaboration that the school does with parents. And we're given instruction on how to like really look at Google Classroom, connecting the pupil path with like grades, where, you know, and I have to say that Lauda and the rest of the staff and is just really open and collaborative with all of us. And I never feel like I'm left out or don't understand like what's happening at school.
Thanks, Alex. And we appreciate you and the team tremendously. We have courageous conversations about race. As you know, we are in the middle of a pandemic, but also rising racial unrest. So it's important to also offer space, not only for our students and the community, but also our families to really make sense of what's happening and build healing and hope. So, you know, as we take an anti-racist approach, I'm proud to say that we have been, in the past, we've had the privilege of meeting Bettina Love. If you don't know who she is, I suggest you Google her. But we have also had very strong community collaboration, because I'm a strong believer that it takes a village to educate a child. So if you're interested in a small community where, like many of my colleagues, your child will be seen, I think any school in D1 is a good place for you. So I'm not here to say UNMS is the best, because it's not. We just might be the right place for your child. And I'll put my information in the chat. Thank you so much for listening. And hello, colleagues. So nice to see you all. Thanks. And follow us on Twitter. You don't have to have a Twitter account. You can just say UNMS Rex.
Thank you very much. I want to shout out all our parent coordinators who are on the lines. I'm seeing them in the chat. I'm seeing them in the pictures. We have parent coordinators, not just from our middle schools, but our elementary schools. So thank you all for joining us tonight. And we also have some of our elementary school principals on the line. So thank you for coming out. Okay, we're going to go over to Principal Fetterman and Eastside.
Hi, welcome everybody. I can share my screen. Is that great? Yeah.
You should be able to share your screen.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I apologize. I don't know if you shouted my name out. We had a 9th grade holiday Zoom party that was going on now with the students, and I just popped off of that. And then we actually have our family holiday party tonight. So I thank you for accommodating me and us. I think you see here, I'm just going to play a slideshow while I speak. These are just some images of special things going on at Eastside. The first thing and the main thing I want to just share is I've actually been the principal at Eastside for 20 years and a part of District 1 for 27 years. And I just have to say that I think one of the most special things about District 1 is that I just remember back literally 27, 28 years ago when I started as a teacher in District 1, that there was just not a lot of love and respect for the middle schools, and people were worried about choice. And even you had a lot of people leaving the district to try to find schools, or just feeling that there weren't a lot of options. And every time I visit colleague schools or come to a middle school fair, or, you know, this is a different format, I'm just blown away by how incredible the district has grown and just how many amazing middle school opportunities there are. So it's always kind of awkward, I think, for all the principals to sit here and kind of talk about our school and say why, you know, our school, you know, so I think, you know, the big thing that I just want to share is just a few things that maybe make our school special to the families that come to our school, or make it maybe attractive. But most of all, just want to put that in context and say that, you know, I'm just so excited that there are so many options in District 1 with so many great schools. So we are what we call a small school, a 6th through 12th grade school. So we're about 700 students, so it's not so small, 6 through 12, but our middle school is 300, we have 300 students in our middle school. One of the special things about Eastside is that almost about 92% of our middle school students end up going to our high school. So I know for a lot of families, this process, especially during, you know, these crazy times, it's difficult and stressful to figure out right now in 5th grade where you're going to go for 6th grade. So one of the nice things is when you come to East Side in 6th grade, you most likely end up staying through 12th grade. So you don't have to worry about the high school process. And more importantly, you have a community that really gets to know you, whether it's the teachers that follow your career from 6th through 12th grade, our middle school assistant principal, Carla Montoya, Joseph Vincente, our high school principal, Leticia Vinier, our parent coordinator, all of them kind of get to know you and all of the staff and kind of take care of you and care for you from 6th through 12th grade. And we like to think of ourselves as having a very special balance between 4 things. We think first and foremost, challenging academics. It's our job to prepare you in middle school for high school and to get you moving on to college and get you prepared for college. And we do consider ourselves a college preparatory school. But the second part of that is we are not elite in our acceptances. We've never looked at test scores and we don't look at test scores. It's very important for us to make sure that between 25 and 30% of our students are students who have IEPs and have special learning needs. And that's a value that we hold highly at our school and provide a lot of support for students who have IEPs for special needs, but also just we know that all students struggle in different ways, and our goal is to kind of meet students where they're at and get them prepared for high school and for college. In addition to that, we just really believe not just in academics, but in extracurricular activities. So what happens in the classroom, there's a lot of choice and there's a lot of fun and a lot of engagement, but we really try to engage students after school as well. We have a lot of trips. We have a lot of clubs. We have over 15 sports. We have over 30 clubs that we offer. At the end of each school year, we spend a week called Week Without Walls, where students get to pick passion projects. So maybe they'll travel, they'll go camping, maybe they'll travel all over the country, maybe they'll travel to another country. They'll study fashion, skateboarding, chess, cooking, art, writing. So there's just a variety of different activities, and those things we also have throughout our school, through some of them during our school day and many of our after school programs. So it's really important, I think, for middle school students, not just that we feel that not just that you get a strong academic support and academic program, that you really just kind of find passions and try new things and get a chance to have fun and explore what you may like. And then the last thing that really matters to us is our commitment to social justice and our commitment to just really, whether it's disrupting racism, fighting homophobia, making sure there's gender equity. It's really important. And I know, especially as students come into middle school, we're such a diverse community, we're such a diverse city that students really have honest conversations about equity, honest conversation about privilege, and most importantly, just really learn and look at history and look at what's happening and make sure that the school and the greater community is a safe, comforting place. Connected to that, one thing I do want to share about admissions that's important for families to know, that our first 61, we have about 100 spots for 6th grade each year, and our first 61 spots go to families who are entitled to get Title I services. So that's really important. I think sometimes when you have when you go through this process, it's really hard to know where what schools are looking for, what schools are wanted. I think it's just really important for us to be honest and open about our values. It's really important that we make sure that we provide the majority of our seats for families and students in families that are again entitled to Title I services. So we want to just make that clear, and that we really want to just get a really nice balance and mixture of all of the students out there in the city. So many of you may know of us, some of you may not, but we really welcome, I think similar to what a lot of people have shared, it feels, this trying to explain the school, this is my life's work. I've been at the school for 27 years. To kind of explain it in 5 minutes feels not fair to not fair to you, not fair to our school community that works so hard to be a special place. So I want to welcome you all and invite you to come. We have our last tour of the year is Tuesday night at 5:30. You can go on our website. I'll put that in the chat right now. I'll just kind of click this with, it has our admissions email, my email, and our website that you can, I think I put, yep, our website. You can click on that and sign up for the tour. And then we're also going to be adding some tours in January. We're still waiting for some more information about admissions. So we are just, the last thing I just want to share is, to all families and all students, I think one of the best things and special things about Eastside, and probably most of the schools, if not all of the schools here, is that I think in elementary school, you're used to being taken care of, used to being looked out for. And when you move on to 6th grade, when you move on to middle school and even high school, one of the fears is that you're either going to get lost, or people aren't going to love you, or you're going to feel like things are bigger than you. And you're not going to get the same level of attention. We have really small classes. Our classes are no bigger than 25, and our advisory classes, which you can learn more about at the tour, are about 12 or 13 students. So we really get to know students well, make sure we know you, we connect really closely with your families, and just treat you as the special person that you are, and just make sure that your years at Eastside through middle school and high school, that all the adults really care for you, and also obviously that all the other kids and students are looking out for you. So it's a very warm, friendly family environment with just lots of loving adults that are there for you. I think I'll leave it at that because I'm not exactly looking at the clock, but I want to respect everybody's time. And again, I want to really invite you to our tour, and that's from 5:30 to 6:30 on Tuesday night. And I just wish all the families really happy holidays. I know it's a rough time, and just to really hope that all the students and families take care of each other, and that all the fifth graders find a way to have a really strong spring and a joyful spring. And we look forward to seeing you in one of our schools in September, and we will be back to normal someday. So we're excited to have you enter middle schools physically there. So thanks a lot, and thank you for giving me the time.
Thank you, Principal Fetterman. Want to give another shout out on the in-betweens while we're moving to different screen shares. Want to shout out our guidance counselors who I know are on this call. Our guidance counselors do a tremendous amount of work in our schools every day, but also with the articulation process. So thank you, guidance counselors. We are going to move on to PSMS 34 and Principal Brian Glover.
Hello, everybody. So many great presentations have already taken place. It's hard acts to follow. I am the newish principal of PSMS 34. I joined the community in January of 2020, and I joined in and we just kind of hit the ground running. We had a big call for change and transformation, and we are right now in the process of transforming our school community together. So PSMS 34 is up in the northeast corner of the district, 12th Street and Avenue D, where we serve as really like a foundational space for our local community. We are very closely connected. We have deep connections to our community that's around our school. We've already begun to transform instruction by designing learning experiences to give our students a chance to learn deeply through project-based and inquiry-based learning. We've adopted mastery grading and learning at our school. We're part of the Mastery Collaborative Schools of New York City, where we focus on kids mastering skills and knowledge and standards. And we report more than numbers about their learning to our families. We also support our community with a lot of different events. We do food deliveries during the summer months. We were doing a walk-in wave just to let our students know that they weren't forgotten, even though the building was closed. We stay very closely connected with our local elected officials and work often with Carlina Rivera's office, who helps support us with BioBus funding, Power My Learning resources. Harvey Epstein's office stays really closely connected with us, as does Gail Brewer and our other local electeds. We work with Nordstrom and Shoes That Fit to get new shoes for our community. Operation Warm helps us provide coats. We're working this coming weekend with Vision Urbana and some of our local community leaders from CEC1 as partners to provide food and resources for our families to get prepared for the holidays. But we also have been innovating our academics. So to enrich our classes, we've given kids the opportunity to engage in classes like Genius Hour, where kids get to pursue their passions and their interests in an area that's really unique to them. They get to lead the learning. We have community action, where students learn to use their voice to create community change at the local, national, or global level. We've expanded our course offerings now. We have Mandarin. We have added visual arts to our arts program. Our science teacher in middle school has opened up the first high school Regents course. We're offering Regents living environment for all of our 8th grade students. And he as well partners with Urban Advantage to enrich the science learning. And we also have a brand new partnership with Stuyvesant High School, where their high school students Zoom in with our students to work as tutors and mentors. We also provide some services for our families with our partnership for Families Thriving, where we give monthly session for family wellness circles. We also provide wellness circles for our staff because times are tough right now. I'm going to try to see if I can present a quick video. This is a specific video from our 6th grade teachers. I wanted to share a little bit about learning in 6th grade.
Brian, is there supposed to be sound?
There is there not sound?
There's no sound for me.
No, make sure you click the little box at the bottom when you share. So you might have to unshare and then reshare again.
Sorry about that, folks.
It was so beautiful already. I thought it was all part of
Well, you know what? Let me make this easy. I do want to be mindful of time. So we have actually created a virtual tour website. So I'm going to link that in here where you can actually see this video and others that have been created by teachers, examples of student work, pictures from our community. You know, we tried to give the full experience. You can even see our new instructional vision that was adopted by our school leadership team in May of this year, which really just kind of promotes our beliefs that kids are competent and capable of leading their learning, that teachers can be researchers of learners in their best practice, that parents can be partners and learners and leaders of learning as part of our community, and that together we're going to transform and change our community into something that is really unique and a little gem in the northeast corner of District 1. So I want you to be able to just to take the time and explore the website at your leisure so that you can really see and dive into the different areas that we're transforming at PSMS 34. I do want to give maybe 30 seconds each. I know 2 of our parents are here. Tiffany Velez, who's quoted on the website. She wrote me a nice little quotation. Tiffany or Mary, if you want to speak up and maybe share a little bit about your experience as a parent at 34, I'd be happy to hear from you if you're here.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Tiffany Velez, like Mr. Glover just said. I actually have 3 children in PS 34. I have an 8th grader, 7th grader, and a 5th grader. And my experience in PS 34 has been amazing. I go in there and I mean, everybody knows who I am. Well, one, I'm always in there because my kids are there, you know, they gotta do the right thing. But other than that, like they know everything. They help out with our kids, not just only mine, like I said, all the kids. The school has, since Mr. Glover came on, and I mean, I commend Mr. Glover all the time, has changed tremendously, and he's only been there for a short amount of time. And then the way he handled this whole pandemic and with the school and the way the kids learn and so on and so forth is just amazing. And I am keeping, it saddens me to say that my 8th grader has to go. I mean, if Mr. Glover wants to make a high school, he's gonna stay, but it saddens me to say that he has to go. But luckily I still have 2 more there. So PS 34 is gonna have me for another couple of years. And parents, if you're looking for a community school, please look into PS 34 and I guarantee you guys won't be disappointed. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. I appreciate you. And all my parents and the whole community around PS 34. We really have grown some really deep connections in such a short time together. So.
Thank you, Principal Glover. I'm just looking at the screen for more people to shout out, and I found some. All of our parents are amazing, and we want to give an extra shout out to our parent leaders who are on here. I know we have a lot of PTA presidents. We have CEC President Naomi Pena on the call. So shout out to our parent leaders, along with all our parents, and shout out to, we have some students on here. We know this is your call, right? So after, when you get back to school, when you're talking to your guidance counselors or your parent coordinators or your principals, we want to know what you thought about the presentation. So let them know. And if you're not seeing what you're looking for here on the presentations, let us know what you want to see. Okay, we are going to go on to Principal Eswick.
Tompkins Square
Hi,
Middle
everybody.
School.
Hey. So many good presentations. I can't decide what middle school I want to go to. There's just so much good stuff happening. I think, Brian, I'm going to drop by for a year. Still try to make sure all of my 8th grade math is up to par, because there's still stuff that's rusty for me. So maybe I'll drop by for some 8th grade math. So hi, I'm Soyandu Estwick. I am the principal at Tompkins Square Middle School, TSMS. We were founded in 2001, and the central mission of the school was to ensure and reflect the diversity of the neighborhood. Luckily, we live in a very diverse neighborhood, so that's worked well for us, and we've been successful in maintaining that. It's important when we talk about diversity that it's also, we're talking about diversity of learning styles, abilities. We are not, there have been moments, I feel that people have seen us kind of as a gifted and talented school or something like that. We have students from all abilities, and what we're looking for is students who want to be in school and want to work hard. And we're all about that. Of course, with diversity comes questions of equity. When you have that many people together who are from different walks of life, equity is a big part of the question. And that's always been part of our discussions at school, amongst staff, amongst parents, students. Students have always been very vocal in our school about things that they think need to get done and need to change. What's really exciting about middle school is actually, I'm a middle school principal, so I'm a little bit, biased here. I think middle school is the most amazing age. I mean, some people might argue with me, but and it's really such a special age for adolescence, and that's what we're all about. Those 3 years, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, are a moment of massive transformation, and our staff in the school, that's what we're focused on, is helping students get through that transformation. So if you were on the school tour, you would see kids who are, 4 feet high, and then you would see kids who are over 6 feet tall. And that's just the physical manifestation of the transformation that happens with middle school kids. And it's super exciting, and it's super important to get that right. And the staff that I have right now, I'm so excited about. Pound for pound, I would put them up against any other staff. I know the other principals here feel the same way. I hope they feel the same way. But I just want you to know that I feel that way about my staff. There's a special, it's interesting. If you ever interview teachers for middle school, when when you interview the right teachers, there's that light in their eye when they start talking about teaching middle school and middle schoolers. And it's a special group of people who are into that. We have always been focused on the arts. So we have a full-time music teacher, a full-time visual arts teacher, a full-time dance teacher, and a full-time theater teacher. So what I call the 4 ACEs. They are, as I said, they're all full-time teachers, and they all have their own dedicated space. So the theater has a black box theater. The music room has its own rehearsal space with, because we kind of do like a rock band format. So we have a soundboard in the music room. And so kids get to, in theater and music, get to learn the technical side of making music in theater. And then we have a dance room in the basement. It's a large open space. Visual art was our first art and is still a huge part of what we do at the school. We have numerous sports teams. We have soccer, girls, boys soccer, basketball, flag football, track and field, just to name a few. I can't skip table tennis, because the table tennis people, you know, that is the most important sport. Don't ever call it ping pong. It's table tennis, and they're very serious about that. We work with Education Alliance, and so our after school is 100% free. Many clubs of all types, and has been going really well. It's actually been going really well during remote learning. They're totally tapped into our platforms and what we're doing, and that has been a seamless shift, I'm happy to say. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there. We have about 120 spots for 6th grade, just so you know. Yes, 120 spots. So I'm gonna leave, I have a small slideshow, very short, so we can keep that moving. Let me see if I can share this screen. Here we go. Yeah. And so, on this first photo, you see this is the Phoenix. The school's mascot is the Phoenix because as I said, we started in 2001. School started 4 days after 9/11, and our mascot is the Phoenix rising from the ashes. Here's some, a lot of work happening all around the school. So there's we like to use hallways a lot. Right. Unfortunately, some of these pictures are during remote learning. But we can see these are humanities rooms. We have on the lower right, it's a black box theater. On the left is a growth mindset billboard from the math department. Here we have some 6th graders working on another graphing project. Books and tons of books. Book reading is 7 days a week. That is 7 days a week homework. Looks like people are having fun though. So here we have some of the mock trials that we do in Brooklyn. The students prepare for a mock trial, and we have students, you can see them there, and other projects. More hands-on projects. This looks like all science. That's our hallways and classrooms. That's on the right-hand side. The music that used to be the theater room, so now we have kind of 2 black box theaters. Here's our sports teams. Since there's a lot of performing arts You can see right here, some performances. We also have a rooftop garden, which we share with the other 2 schools in the building. And looking forward to getting back to that. This is all making me very nostalgic. Kids at
I've
the
been thinking the same
NASA.
things on the videos.
What's that?
I said, I've been thinking the same things with each
Right?
of the videos, how much I miss visiting schools in live action.
Yeah, yeah, and everybody bunched up for the photo with no masks. It's pretty sweet. Here's some shots from our talent show. Oh yeah, here's a very important addition to our school is Stella. She's a comfort dog at our school, and she just came about like a month ago, but she, I know I'm not supposed to have favorites. She's my favorite. She's my favorite in the whole community. I'm just putting that out there right now. And she comes by and visits me even now, so that's pretty sweet. All right. Some of our kids working with the elementary school kids downstairs. And that's that. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you so much. So I'm seeing a lot of love in the chat, not a lot of questions. So if you have questions and you want to put out there, we have one more presentation before we move to the question and answer period. I was watching the video and I thought I haven't shouted out our teachers, and our teachers have been amazing for the past 9 months, holding this down in an ever-changing world. And so shout out to the teachers. And if you have people who are holding it down at home too, my kids came home, brought me coffee. They're managing the barking dog so I can be here. So shout out to everyone who's holding it down at home for you guys so you can be here. All right, we are going last, but not least. Somebody's got to be last, but we're gonna end this presentation with Dr. Kabanoff, PSMS 184, and we're ready to go.
All right, good evening, everyone. Ready to close this out? Great to see so many faces. To my colleague principals, those were awesome presentations and pretty hard acts to follow. So Nandu, I am ready to humbly challenge anybody over by you in table tennis as I could bring it. So I'm ready to go. Anyway, my name is Dr. Jeremy Kabanoff. I am new to Shuang Wen, about a year and a half in. I previously was in District 11, the Bronx Northeast section, coming out of the district office as a deputy soup and for a little bit as an acting superintendent. And I am just blessed to be here in District 1 with all of you, with the best superintendent, deputy superintendent in town. So love it. Let me get on here to our brief presentation because I know it's getting late and some of the kids on the call have to get some rest because we are back at it tomorrow. So here is our official website. This is where you can see the latest and greatest at what's happening over at Shuang Wen. We have small class sizes. We are a standalone building. We're roughly about 720 students. We are a pre-K through 8 school. Class sizes, again, are small. We range anywhere in the elementary sector, 21 to 24 students per class. In the middle school, range anywhere between 24 to 27 students per class. So it's a nice piece. Before I go into the presentation, because sometimes I tend to talk a little too much, we work under 4 pillars. The pillars that we work within is personalized learning. We want to meet our students at the right entry point. We want to honor their strengths and bring them out even more to evolve even more. And we want to meet them where we need to maybe get over that hurdle. So personalized learning is a big one by us. Parents as partners is something that we are very, very proud of. There are a number of initiatives, clubs, implementations, you name it, that were derived and initiated by our parents, and we are proud to say that a lot of things came about based on parent voice and parent collaboration. Another pillar we work within, which I feel is the most important one, is what I call for students by students. That is where we are looking at student leadership, student voice, student agency. And then last but not least, collaboration amongst all of you, our parents, our teachers, our students, and so on. So those are our 4 pillars. So again, we are a pre-K through 8 dual language Mandarin school. Dual language Mandarin is threaded into everything we do, even beginning in pre-K. It's fabulous to see what the little ones are doing after a full year of school. We have tours. You can come and see me and our team. Miss Gia, our illustrious guidance counselor, is here with us tonight. She is with me in pretty much every forum we hold. We are very big on holding town halls and parent forums. We feel that we want to hear what all of you are discussing at the dinner table, so we can bring that back to us and make those adjustments as needed. But again, we're doing this rapid, we're doing this fast, but you can come and see us. These are just some of the dates. We are more than willing to implement some more. So again, these are our dates, and we will have that out there. Again, our website has the dates on them. Something we have fun with every single presentation, we have a Twitter hashtag, and we always give principal extra credit points for those that go and follow us right now. So if we see the phone pop off and we see families following us, you will begin the year with some principal and guidance counselor extra credit points, since Ms. Gia is here on the call with us. Just like everybody else, there are a number of online platforms or software programs that we use. Again, we do this to, again, get to that proper entry point and elicit what we can do step by step to getting our children where we want them to be. Partnerships. We are very, very big on partnerships. I'm not going to go into every single one, but highlight just a few. Smart Start is a partnership that we made to support our students in the specialized high school process. Often you hear about the specialized process or test prep, if you will, beginning in 8th grade, in which a student arguably has anywhere between 4 and 5 weeks before the exam. This past year, we worked with our 7th graders, and this year we are going to begin with our 6th graders. So when it does come time to take the exam, they will meet it with flying colors. Something that a parent was the initiator on was the Brooklyn Tech Stuyvesant High School Internship Program. We have a partnership with Brooklyn Tech and Stuyvesant, in which the high school students conduct their internship hours by tutoring and working with our students. Last year, it was in person. Obviously, this year it was virtual. And even in the summer, to avoid, as best we could, summer slip, the high school interns were working with families where we had over 140 students throughout the summer in partnership with those high school students. At the end where you see Make Your Moment and Student Leadership and Legacy is our student leadership program that was facilitated by former New York Rangers from the NHL. And that's something that I'll go into in just a little bit. Chinese language arts, for those of you that will be entering with us into the middle school, we actually have a parent focus group now in terms of how we are going to expand on this, but this is what we have right now, where the Chinese language arts is its separate class, while dual language Mandarin is funneled through all of the other items that we have here. Equity of student voice. So this is a leadership and legacy piece, Make Your Moment. Again, celebrity sports stars were the ones to facilitate, to give it that star power. Again, what they charged our students with was to conduct a bit of research. It was all within the restorative type of a circle. Question prompts were eliciting, getting kids to more or less come out of the shell, conduct research, and then initially present their research based on someone who has made a contribution to society, and then intertwine it with how and what they will do to contribute something towards society. We we work under a concept in which we call leave to learn. So while we were not in the pandemic, we were invested in students seeing, touching, and experiencing what they were receiving via their curriculum. And I always use the story of when I went to Pennsylvania and had the opportunity to visit a replica of a Native American longhouse. And inside the longhouse, it showed you what post-European looked like. And then in the second half, you saw pre and then post. And it was just exciting to see something that from when I went to school, it was all textbook based. And here it was, I was experiencing something for real where I could see it, I could touch it, and ultimately taste it. So that's the concept that we promote over at Shuang Wen, to just have that curriculum live. These are samples, ladies and gentlemen, of just some of the extracurricular activities. We are big on debate. We have a pretty strong debate team. We are mathletes. So again, if you are not a sports person, we still have a sports oriented platform for you via the academics. We partner with Tennis Innovators, so we have tennis, we have chess, we have soccer. We just instituted student government. So again, for students, by students, these students are the ones making change. And very interestingly enough, the student government, the student community service group, and the LGBTQ club are working hand in hand to ensure policy, to initiate change, and to just show that equity of voice. It's pretty powerful stuff coming from our students. We offer prep in every way, shape, and form. Via the specialized high school prep, we do well in terms of when students graduate. For the predominance, our students get into Brooklyn Tech, Stuyvesant, Bard, High School of Asian Studies, Hunter, and Millennium. Just this past year, we had over 32 students accepted into Millennium, which was an extraordinary number. So again, our students are going off and doing some big things. Over here, something just very small, but it just brings out the whole kid, if you will. We do go simply into Student of the Month because we want to show that it's not just about the textbook, it's about how you can make a contribution to your class, to your school, to your community. And what we did here is we used our school name via an acronym, and for every letter, there's a concept for each month. While we were doing that last year in person, we have successfully rolled it out virtually for the last 2 months, and it's been a pretty big hit. You see families excited, group photos, screenshots, just making it virtual fun since we cannot do this in person. I just want to do one last really quick thing. Where am I here? Just bear with me 1 second, folks. I might have lost it. Nope. Really quick, I'll cut it off. But again, we do theme days. This was sports theme day where students wore their favorite jersey. So while we're working hard, you know, we're also having fun. This was superhero day last year. This was our first grade, having a little fun, flexing a little bit, but getting them excited. Lunchtime, cafeteria can be a scary place sometimes, but we try to have as much fun as we possibly can. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, these photos were taken last year, pre-pandemic, so, you know, hence you won't see social distancing. These parents created the Mandarin enrichment program for after school. Again, another aspect of Leave to Learn where we, you know, hit up Cooper Hewitt. And you see the amount of students that were invested in going. This was just outside the Tenement Museum. So again, part of the curriculum, we want you to live it. These were pre-K students last year that received Student of the Month, and they had the opportunity to come down to my office and receive the letter. Parents that want to learn English, we provided language classes for them. This young lady was about to be young Anna in Broadway Junior for this year, which is put on hold. We do have bunnies. They dress up. This was for Halloween. Let's see if I can. So, you know, it's just a couple of examples of, you know, again, we work hard. We have fun. We want to make it exciting for kids to come to school. Something that I just want to leave you with. This was something that I read out during last month's Student of the Month ceremony, which honored kids who were hardworking. So for those of you who don't know me that well, my favorite out there is The Rock. I just love what this guy stands for. I think he has the best quotes. It just motivates you. So we read a couple of quotes from The Rock, and under the umbrella of hardworking, it goes like this. He states, "What's the key to success? The key is there is no key. Be humble, be hungry, and the hardest worker in the room." And then he goes on to say, "The wall. Your success is on the other side. Can't jump over it or go around it. You know what to do." And I feel strongly that we promote that love and affection and that inspiration to our kids, where they are the hardest workers in the room. Hopefully you join us on the tours. Everyone, happy holidays.
Thank you so much. And thank you to all our principals. So we have about 30 minutes left. Bear with me. So some questions were sent to me privately through the chat. Some questions are now coming in. And I know we want to check with our parents who are on the translated lines. Those questions come in on a separate chat. So we want to check in there. So we'll make sure that we do that. The first question we have is for Principal Ricks. And then Principal Kabanoff, there's a similar question for you too. So maybe you can both take a shot at answering. So the question is, Principal Ricks, about the admissions criteria for Mandarin. Do students need to be fluent, or can they be novice to get into the dual language program?
They do not need to be fluent in Mandarin. Our teacher, we actually ask the kids just to take a very brief assessment in the beginning of the year, just so that we can make adjustments to the curriculum, but no, they do not need to be fluent.
Great,
Yeah,
thank
Ms.
you.
Christie, thank you. I second that as well. So for PS1A4M, you do not need to be proficient, because we know that not every student comes from a background with Mandarin Chinese, or even had the opportunity to learn Mandarin Chinese, and maybe they discover they want to learn a second or third language or culture, and we welcome them.
Thank you so much. Principal Estwick, how can we get a tour of Tompkins Square? What do we got to do? You're on mute.
We've done a couple tours already. We don't have any more scheduled, but what I can do is I will put our parent coordinator's email address in the chat, and if we, by demand, if we get a big demand, we'll try to throw together one more tour for people. So you can reach out to her, and I'll put her email in the
Great.
chat.
Thank you. So we have a question from parents, and this one I'm going to open up after I take a little bit of time to respond to it. The question is, will remote learning still be an option once we're back to school full time? So I think the answer is we're not sure. We don't imagine that there'd be the option like there is now to stay home full time. But I do know that our principals and our teachers are being really thoughtful about how they can take some of the best practices from remote learning, places where kids are connecting to remote learning, and try to use them next year. So do any of our principals want to respond to that? Share what you might be thinking. Or our teachers.
Christine, I'll share for a moment. I know what a best practice had definitely come out in SGL is definitely around assessment. We started using Flipgrid because we have a strong advocate for student voice at Global Leaders. So we started using Flipgrid for our assessment where kids were actually videotaping themselves, solving a problem and explaining it to others. So I think that's a great practice that has come out that we do continue, that we will continue in the future.
All right, great, thank you. And I think that is a lot of what we're seeing, the integration of technology and technology options. There is a question about where we can find this recording after the fact. I think we're probably going to put the recording on our DOE website. Is that correct? Okay, great. Celsa, I'm going to scroll through the questions here, but I want to check in with you. Do you know that, do you know if we have any other questions that aren't coming up in my chat?
Sure. So is there a fee for Mandarin classes? I heard there was in the past at Shuang Wen School. Mr. Kavanaugh, Dr. Kavanaugh, do you want to answer that?
Sorry, I'm here again. So I just want to, I put it into the chat already that Mandarin is part of our school curriculum. So there's no charge for it. But if you're mentioning about an after school program, a fee-based after school program, we do have a fee-based after school program targeting on Mandarin language, homework help. That is fee-based. Otherwise, our Mandarin classes is just is part of the school curriculum. It's free.
Thank you. Any other questions, Elsa?
I do want to also ask the interpreter if they can ask the people on their lines if anyone has any questions, and you can let us know, please.
Okay. So while
Please
they're
hold on, I'm asking.
Oh.
I'm asking in the line. Sorry.
Okay. So while they're doing that, about how large are the class sizes at 184?
They're small. Kindergarten always usually tops off at about 24, 25. But from grade 1 through grade 5, it's anywhere between 21 to 24. And then in grades 6 through 8, it can range anywhere from 24 to 27.
So as a follow-up to that, we have a parent who asked for each principal to answer the same question about class size, about how large are your classes?
At Global Leaders are, I'm sorry, at Global Leaders, our typical class size is 21 students. In our Mandarin program, the Mandarin program is a small program, so that's usually around 12 students.
At 140, it's anywhere between 25 and 29.
At UNMS is anywhere between 22 and 25.
At PSMS 34, it's about 25 students, 25 to 30 per class.
At 188, it's between 22 through 29. We're pre-K to 8.
We get everyone?
Tompkins Square Middle School, we average 30 students a class.
And Soyandu, while we have you, there's a question in the chat. Is TSMS multilingual? So I guess I'm wondering, Leah, if you want to expand on that, or are we asking about language programming? That's the leap I'm making, but I might not be correct.
I didn't mention, I was talking about the arts, but I didn't mention that we have a full-time Spanish teacher. Students on every grade take Spanish every year.
I do want to thank you for that, Sohyando. I do want to check back in with our Spanish interpreter. Are there any questions?
Yes, I have Miss Eridania. She has a question. Her question is when we start for the registration for new students.
When will registration start? Unfortunately, we don't have a date right now. We're awaiting information from Central to support the admissions process.
And I want to add to that, that what schools can do right now is to create your My Schools account, which is different from the New York City schools account. So there's a creation code that you might have already gotten for your guidance counselor, and if you haven't, reach out to your school guidance counselor for your creation code from the My Schools account. Again, I want to stress that it's very different from the New York City schools account. And at this point, I want to ask the Mandarin interpreters, are there any questions?
Hello, are there any 有没有任何问题呢？现在
Okay, do you think it's okay if we move to a next question while the question's being asked? Okay. How are students with IEPs supported in coming into the school? It's an open question. So any principal who would like to take it?
All of the classes at PSMS 34 are integrated co-teaching classrooms. So students with IEPs participate in learning with students across every class, every subject in PSMS 34.
Likewise at UNMS, all of our classrooms are ICT classrooms, and we also have the NEST program, and we have also, based on students' IEP, smaller inclusion settings. So if you come to UNMS, you should not worry about the IEP services that your student is entitled to, because we make sure that they, as per IDA mandates, that they are rendered and delivered.
Hello, I'm Evie from 188, and I help to support with IEPs. I'm also one of the speech and language providers. We do support ICT as well as we do have self-contained. And the one thing that I found very beneficial, especially for incoming, when we are not aware of the family and the child, I have a parent fill out a parent intake form. You know, how was their child's learning? What strengths and weaknesses do they find that their child has? How does your child get along at home? And what type of things would you like to see improve for your child? This way we can have an open door to where we need to start at with the child. And I also share that information along with the new incoming teacher. That gives us a little bit more insight to the child.
So at 140, we have both ICT programs and self-contained. Our ICT teachers are absolutely amazing, the way they collaborate with each other. The kids do not realize who is the content teacher and who's the special ed teacher, because they're both invested and so well versed in the curriculum that they're teaching. And with respect to the self-contained classes, I mean, just with everyone in our school, we are a pre-K to 8 school. We use our students to teach us on how what's their best learning style and how we approach them.
At Global Leaders, we have most of our classes are ICT. We also have a self-contained class on each grade level. Prior to students coming into the 6th grade, we schedule time for this incoming 6th grade teachers to spend some time diving deep into the IEPs. And then we invite families up for individual meetings over the summertime to talk more about maybe other issues that are in the IEP or are not in the IEP. We also have service providers. So we have a full-time speech provider. We have a guidance counselor. Like Lauda had said, we have all the services that are currently on your child's IEP.
Celsa, can we check back in with the Mandarin line if there are any questions?
Yes, if there are any questions, can you please unmute yourself to let us know, please?
请问有问题吗？各位家长。
你好，我想问一下有关，因为我来的比较迟，我也想知道有关这个一学区中学的有关资料，有那些网站有吗？
Hello, I have a question because I've been here a little late today. I'm wondering if there are any information about these middle schools brochures and where can I find them? Thank you.
Thank you.
So I believe all of our schools have websites. That's where we are right now. So is there something we can put in the chat with links to the website, Celsa, or?
You'll be able to, if you visit our District 1 website tomorrow morning, I would post something on there. We have the information for all schools. I'm just waiting on some additional tour days that some of our principals wanted to add. So I'm gonna put the website on the chat, and then you can see there tomorrow. I'll also include the links for our school's website.
That would be great. And we usually have a middle school guide that is published by the enrollment office. And because we are remote right now, we don't have one. So we definitely will post all the school's information on our own website.
There's a question about which middle schools have free after-school program. So can you just say if you have a free after-school program?
UNMS has free after school. I would not hold anything that's for pay in our school. So everything that it's available to students, it's available for everyone. So yeah.
Yeah, at 140, we have a partnership with Ed Alliance. So we do have a after school for our middle school.
We have a free after school for our middle schoolers with Apex Sonic program.
Same thing for 188. We have a partnership with Ed Alliance.
34 has a partnership with Sonic.
Global Leaders has a partnership with Grand Street Settlement. So we have Sonic in our building as well as Grand Street Settlement Beacon program.
Tompkins Square, we are partnered with Education Alliance, and our program is 100% free.
Thank you. There is a question again about applications. We answered that. As soon as we have application information, we will be sharing that out widely. You can expect information to come from your school, information to come from the district on the district website. So here's a question open to all of our principals. If there's one change you could make about your school, what would it be?
I would like to continue adding more arts programming and other enrichment courses like robotics. That's just a special love of mine.
We have a social action makerspace where we do woodworking and jewelry crafting and pottery and filmmaking and music making. And just this year, we have started to collaborate with our math teacher and our ELA teacher to bring some of those maker experiences into the classroom as well. So I think our goal, something we want to change, is to really have this way of making infused into all of our classes.
I could change one thing. I would get rid of standardized testing because I think they're part of the structural barrier that is part of the inequity that's perpetuated by our system, and that is used to take a lot of time that could be better spent fostering relationships and engaging in extracurricular activities, particularly for English language learners who have to take disproportionate amount of testing. So I would get rid of standardized testing and that $4.5 billion industry.
I second that, Lauda. I second that. I was just to build upon Lauda's, and this might sound crazy, but more time. And I think it goes back to what Lauda had said about, giving kids more opportunities for the arts, them to explore their talents, more time for us to build relationships with our students and learn in many different ways.
Anybody else?
For me, it would just be offering our kids more opportunities to leave their communities and explore and venture out to other things that they may not normally experience.
I think for myself, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I would love to give them their year back. They missed so much from this year, and I wish that if there was anything we could do was to give them that time back again, that they could enjoy those special moments with each other, not through virtual, but just being together again.
你好，我想问一下，对于有 IEP 的进中学会不会比较难？
Hello, I have a question. Here's a question from the parent. I'm wondering if with the IEP, would it cause any difficulty or barriers to entry into middle school? Thank you.
Okay.
No, there is, I'm sorry.
Do you guys want to answer
Sorry,
that?
Ms. Christine.
We'll get back to you. I know you didn't have a chance to answer the last question.
Oh, it's okay. 这位家长 let me just answer the parent really quick. 这位家长就算您的孩子有 IEP 或者任何特殊教育，对报初中都没有任何问题的。So this parent, I just want to answer that whether you have IEP or not, it does not affect how you apply to school. But there is a seat, a particular seat availability for students with IEP. That's most likely for every District 1 middle schools as well as other middle schools. But there is no effect. 没有任何问题的。
好的，谢谢。
不用谢。You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you. Soyanda, did you want to answer the question about change?
Oh yeah, I think we used to have a student council and I used to run it and then I ran out of time. I would love to get our student council back. And I think I will, because I definitely think that's important.
Okay. We have a clarifying question. Is TSMS the same as PS 184? No, Tompkins Square Middle School is located on East 6th Street and it is M839. PS 184 is also known as the Shuang Wen School, and that is located on Cherry Street. Can we expand on self-contained? So I'm thinking that's a question about which middle schools perhaps offer 12 to 1-to-1 programming. Does anyone want to speak to that? So let me just say something about IEPs. When a student has an IEP, that student is expected to be received at any of our schools and receive the services that they're entitled to according to their IEP. So applications do not need to be submitted based on what recommendations a child currently has on their IEP. You can apply to any of our schools and acceptance should not be based on a child's IEP criteria. So let me say that. And then if anyone wants to speak to some current offerings that they have at their school,
I can speak to it, Christine. So at UNMS, again, special education is a service, right? Not a placement. And so students who are placed in a smaller setting have the same opportunities and experiences as students who are in larger settings. So for instance, the humanities teacher who teaches our self-contained students in self-contained, because I don't like to call them, they're not self-contained, so they're students in self-contained, only focus on humanities. Same can be said for math, same can be said for science, art, music, Spanish. They move like everyone else. They don't stay in the same room. So the only difference is the class size. But as far as the actual delivery of instruction and how those teachers are treated, they're part of the content teams, they're part of the grade team. So the only difference is just the class size. And the fact that they have different needs that have to be met as per their IEP. But other than that, it looks the same. That's one of the things that I was very intentional about 14 years ago when I joined the community as the assistant principal, because when I came in, they were in one room the entire day. It was the same teacher or two teachers teaching the content. And to me, that was a major issue of equity. So regardless of what your strengths are, right, you should be entitled to the same options and opportunity. That's my philosophy as a principal. Therefore, that's why I don't believe in tracking. So if your child is in a self-contained setting, the only difference is just the class size. Then everything else remains the same. And of course, the instruction as far as the access is concerned, but it's no different from an ICT setting.
Hi, so Melissa Rodriguez, 140 here again. I want to echo what Laura said. I was thinking the very same thing. Our 6th grade self-contained class also follows the curriculum and the text and teachings as any of our other 6th grade classes. Our teachers collaborate and plan together. They use the same type of materials and the same type of curriculum. So again, to echo what Lara said, really the only difference between the class is the number of students within that class.
At 188, I also again echo what Melissa and Laura said. We are a pre-K to 8 school, so we have a 1-2 class, we have a 3-4, a 5-6, and a 7-8 self-contained, and they collaborate with all the other teachers. Middle school is completely departmentalized, so the self-contained classes actually have an ELA, a math, and a science teacher. It's not just one teacher teaching all the subjects.
Okay.
Global leaders.
Okay, thank you. We're going to move on. We have about 7 minutes left, and I want to be respectful of everybody's time. And thank you for being so gracious coming out tonight and offering your time. One is, do you kids need to write an acceptance letter or just apply to school? Kids need to just apply to schools. Once the application is out, please just fill out your application. You will be asked to place your schools in order of preference. Having gone through this process a couple of times myself, I would say you should put your first choice as whatever your first choice is, and put schools down accordingly. Can someone explain the rules for District 1 grade 5 students? Can we apply only for District 1 middle schools? What are the odds and priority rankings? So I think we need updated information on that. So typically in the past, if you reside, well, District 1 is a district of choice. So anyone can apply to a District 1 school. The whole city can apply to our District 1 schools. Other districts haven't in the past had the same option. There are some citywide programs, and some of our students also have historically had access to District 2 schools. If you've been reading the newspapers, we're waiting for additional guidance on what that's going to look like going forward. Oh, I think I'm at the end of the chat. I thought it was saying 44 comments. Maybe we moved on from there. So any other questions from either of the translation lines? Benito, you have a question?
Yes, no question.
No questions? Okay.
No, thank you.
Thank you so much. A shout out to our translators tonight. Thank you so much for being here and for helping our families to access our information. Can someone explain the criteria for diversity in admissions? I can explain the criteria for diversity in admissions, but our diversity in admissions pilot primarily refers to our, it's in place for our pre-K and kindergarten students. So for our pre-K and kindergarten students, we have targets where we would like our seats to match the diversity of our district. And right now, that would be about 60% of students who qualify for free and reduced lunch, who are Ls, and we have free and reduced lunch, Ls, or students in temporary housing. So 60% of seats would ideally go to students who have those indicators, and the other 40% of seats would not in each school. Now, we do not have sort of a hard set on that. If there are schools that don't have that match but has available seating, we still fill those seats as we don't want any of our schools to be under enrolled. Currently, we don't have a diversity in admissions program for our middle schools, but it's certainly something that we try to attend to. Can you give the form to apply to TSMS? So there is one application, it's one citywide application, and when it is out, you'll have the opportunity to apply to all schools. Thank you.
I think we have a last questions. Will kids with IEPs be required to have a reevaluation upon entering 6th grade? The answer is no. Okay. All right, we want to respect everyone's time. Let's give everyone a round of applause to Christine for facilitating. Christine, I think I just found your second gig. You did a great job.
Is it really, Carrie, second gig?
Yes.
Gig number 54, you mean?
Yes. Well, I want to end with some festive music. And I want to say thank you so much for joining us. And happy holidays and happy new year, everyone. Good luck with the application. We are all here to help you, everyone.
Yes, and our emails are in the chat or on the website, so you can always find any of us and all of us, our principals, all of that information's available on the website. So if you need to reach out to anyone, you can do that.
Thank you, Carrie and Christine. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you, principal.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Appreciate the time tonight.
Holidays. Bye.
He is too cute.
Good night.
Goodbye, everyone.